Welcome to Yoga with Carolyn. Today we are going to work on poses that strengthen our posture and stretch the muscles that affect our posture. How many of us find at the end of the day, or maybe not even at the end, but the beginning of the day, that we look like this? I always joked for years, by 3 p.m. I'm all like this, right? So with that, I want us to just sit up tall. Now today we are going to need 2 blocks, a strap. If you don't have blocks, find a thick book. If you don't have a strap, find a belt, a bathrobe, tie, even a towel will work. Again, we're going to open our muscles that shorten our posture, and we're going to strengthen those that become weak in our posture. So again, sitting up tall, root down through the sit bones. Let's inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, release our right hand, reach over and out with our left. Now we're going to make sure that this left shoulder blade stays on the back. Inhale as we come up. Exhale, release, reaching over and out. Again, keep that right shoulder from dropping forward. We're lifting and reaching. And then inhale, come all the way up. Let's exhale, release. So we're going to start out with a few strengthening poses. We're going to stand up. So come to standing. Now I call these my T. So I soften my knees. I'm going to go sideways so you can really see. We're going to soften our knees and we're going to hinge from our hips. Our palms are forward. Our thumbs are going to lead the way. We're going to come up to a T position. If I were to stand up, I'd look exactly like this. So coming back, bend the knees, squeeze the shoulder blades at the top. We're going to keep our head in a neutral position. We're going to breathe. Ideally, I'd like an exhale on the way up and inhale on the way down, but I'll just take the breath. Give me one more time. It should have been 10. I'm not great at counting. That's why I'm going to go get the instructor, right? So then, that was our T's. Our next one is going to be a Y. So our arms are going to end up looking like a Y. Our thumbs, again, will lead the way on the way up. Same position. I drop down. Y. Now, again, my head is in a neutral position. And I'm going to make sure that I don't arch my back. My core is tight. Last one. Perfect. Bring it up, back up. We can roll through the shoulders. Can you feel those muscles between our shoulder blades? That is what's usually pretty weak because his chest muscles are so tight and strong that they pull everything forward. And then when we try to draw our shoulders on our backs, our muscles just aren't strong enough. We have one more exercise like that. It's called a goalpost. Again, I'm going to turn sideways. Same bottom half. This time our palms face us and our thumbs are pointed towards each other. Our elbows are going to come wide and I'm going to rotate my goalposts. So squeeze at the top, rotate, and release. Can you feel all of that between the shoulder blades? And breathing, pulling back, trying to get a big rotation. About one more. Very nice. So come all the way up. I can already feel my shoulders. I would say on that, do it 3 times a day, 10 each one of those. Takes you just over 30 seconds, right? Now we're going to come down to the floor. So make our way, come down on our knees, however we want to get there. Now we're going to bring our feet together and we're going to press the tops of our feet into our mat and my kneecaps should come up because my legs are engaged. I'm going to take my head, let it be neutral, hands on either side of our chest. So we're going to come up to a cobra. We're going to inhale, lift the head and chest, and maybe the hands. We're going to breathe, hold, legs are strong. One more. On that exhale, release, and just let one of your cheeks rest to the mat. Now we can stay with our cobra version, or come with me into a locust. A locust is going to involve our legs and our upper body. We're going to start out with our hands behind our backs. We're going to start drawing our shoulders down our spine. bring the forehead down to the mat. So we're gonna inhale, lift, and engage the back and the legs as we reach our knuckles to the floor. Let's say this is too much. My hands can separate. My hands can stay on the floor. My hands can come right here. Or my legs can stay on the floor and I can come into that working cobra. For one more breath. And release again. Rest one cheek. How do we do? Let's do that one more time. Picking what we're going to do, either the locust or the cobra. I'm going to do the whole locust this time. So I'm going to bring my hands together, reach my knuckles down, raise my head and chest, roll open my shoulders. I should feel the work, but I should not feel pain. One more breath. And slowly release again. Allow that cheek to come on to the floor. Now since we're on the floor, we're going to stay there. And we're going to take our left arm and extend it up. The front of my left shoulder is going to drop to the mat. I'm going to bring my right hand on the side of my chest. You can see my elbow pop up. I'm going to roll into this left side. I'm going to bring my right leg with me, kind of as a kickstand. And I'm going to stretch open my chest and the front of my shoulder. Again, these are the muscles that get short and tight and pull everything forward. One more breath. As we exhale, let's make our way back to our center. I'm going to take that right arm out to the side. Here it is, going out, T position. Left hand slides in. I'm going to roll into that right shoulder, take my left foot as a kickstand. Really breathe into the front of the chest. Slowly come back to our center. Slide that right hand back. Now we're going to come back up to seated. I'm going to grab one of my blocks to sit on. Again, if you don't have blocks, it's not the end of the world. We can use a blanket, an extra mat rolled up, or roll up your mat that you have underneath you already. I'm going to angle my block just slightly so it gives me a little more surface area. Now, why am I using the block? Well, if my hip flexors are tight, I'm not going to have range of motion in my upper body, right? This allows my hip flexors to come out of the equation. Now we're going to take our strap, and I always like to take the clip part so that I don't get hit in the face, and usually wrap it around. We're going to take that right elbow up and that left elbow behind us. So we're just opening, we're rolling open our shoulders, lift through our hearts. So I'm going to pull down a little bit with this left hand and up with the right. Just breathe. One more breath. And slowly release. Let's say that your hands can come into that bind nicely, not like a little two-tip finger thing. If you can get a nice bind, then you don't need this strap. I clearly need this strap. I will tell you, if you do not do this stretch, you will lose this stretch. Okay, so I've just wrapped it around just so that I don't have that clip in my face. I'm going to reach back. Roll open my shoulders. Feel that elongation down the tricep. Just sitting up nice and tall. About one more big breath here. And exhale, completely release. How we feeling? Do you want to roll through those shoulders? Just check in with them. See if they're opening for us, if they're protesting a little bit. We've done a little bit of work and a little bit of opening. So now we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. And I'm just going to move my block off to the side. I do need it in a minute. We're going to come into a runner's lunge. Why a runner's lunge? Because my hip flexors, if they're pulling myself forward, my chest, my back probably doesn't stand a chance against them, right? So we're going to bring that left foot in between our hands, And we're just gonna drop in. We're gonna keep our hands here. Now let's say my arms aren't long enough. I can come on the inside. I can grab that block that's there. My knee is gonna stay over my ankle or slightly behind. Let that hip open. Now I'm gonna engage my core a little bit just to make sure my back is not overworking right here, because I'm looking for that lengthening. Now, maybe this feels good. Maybe it's a little easy. I need to curl under my toes and find the full stretch. Maybe that's too much. I decided to come back to my knee. Totally up to us today. And another thing we want to make sure is that we're not dropping our chin in all of our stretches. We're keeping it long. And let's come back down to the right knee. We're going to step our left foot back. We're going to start out with the foot forward again, and knee over or slightly behind that ankle if it comes ahead of. Can't really see. My core is engaged. My chin is not dropping. I'm looking for that nice big stretch right here. Again, I can place my hands on a block, not on a block. We can curl under those left toes. Stay here. Bigger stretch. So we sometimes just think of it being our chest and our back muscles that cause us to slouch. Well, these hip flexors play a pretty big role too. One more breath. And slowly release. Now we're going to make our way back into our tabletop. We're going to spread our fingers and we're going to start to curl under our toes. We're going to find our way into a high plank. Now in a high plank, I want you to push the floor away. I want you to engage. So imagine you have that zipper and you just zipped everything up. All of those muscles are coming together. Shoulders are in a neutral position. Head is lengthened. Heels are reaching back. Breathe. Now I can stay here. Maybe I need to come back down to my knees for a breath, or stay there. Maybe my wrists are bothering me. I can drop to my forearms. Just make sure my shoulders are over my elbows and I've not collapsed. If I collapse, I gotta come out of it. So we're staying strong. 2 more breaths. Now, if we're on our forearms, we're on our knees, we're gonna find our way back to our hands and our toes and then shift back. Find our down dog. In our down dog, we can soften our knees as we situate, lengthening through the spine, and then we want to work on getting our legs straight. Those hamstrings also pull on our backs, which create bad posture. So the shoulder blades are making sure that they're not coming to our ears, so shrug them down the back. What do I mean by that? If I feel like my shoulders are like this when I'm in down dog, I need to draw them down. One more breath. And then let's come down onto our knees. How are we doing? Okay. So I want you to have your blocks handy. Just know where they are. You don't have to have them yet. Now I'm going to take my ponytails out. So if you have your ponytail, it's in the way. It's not going to allow the back of your head to rest. Go ahead and take it out right now. And then we're going to come on to our backs. So just roll down nice and slow. So we stretch those hamstrings, or we didn't really stretch our hamstrings. We discussed that our hamstrings can pull on it too. So we want to make sure that we work our hamstrings. So we're going to plant our hands on either side. We want to build the strength in those hamstrings. So we're going to walk our feet together. Now why do I need to build the strength in my hamstring? Because my quads and my hip flexors pull them out of balance, right? And when we sit for long periods of time, your quads and your hip flexors, they shorten. So we're going to plant our hands. We're going to press down through our feet. And our hips, knees, and ankles are all going to stay in a line. We're going to make sure those knees don't go wide. Now we're going to press down through our heels as we raise the hips. Our knees are going in the direction of our toes. Keep lifting. Head is neutral. We're looking up at the ceiling. We're using our hamstrings. Push into the big toes and the heels. Now notice, did your feet walk out? Did they stay pointed forward? Are the hamstrings working? How about one more big breath? And exhale, release. How are we doing? Still good? Let's take those arms out to a T. Our palms are going to face up, and our knees are going to just stay exactly where they were. We're going to take our knees over to that right side and let that left shoulder stay on the ground. Now, why a twist for spinals or for posture? Because it helps release the spinal muscles. Everything that's attached pulls on everything else. Let's come back to our center. Let's take it over to that left side. That right shoulder stays on the ground. I've said for years, you're only as old as your back feels. So if my back feels young, I am young, right? I can be 20 and feel like I'm 60 if my back hurts. I can be 60 and feel like I'm 28 if my back feels amazing. Let's come back to our center. Now, we're going to take our arms straight out from our shoulder socket. I want you to reach your fingertips to the ceiling and then draw them back. Push into the floor. Inhale, reach them away. Draw them back again. Another strengthening. Reach away and draw them back. Just one more. Reach away. Draw them back and hold it here. Push the shoulder blades into the ground. Feel the work happening. Now from that position, we're going to take that right arm up over the head. Pause. Bring it back. The left arm up over the head. Pause. Now turn the palm. So the palms are going to face away from us. That right arm. Just notice if there's tight spots. Awesome. Now hang out here. Give ourselves a nice big hug. Now we're going to grab our blocks. That's our last thing. It's a big chest open. So what happens if I don't have blocks? You don't need them. They're amazing. They're awesome. I would tell everybody they need them, but you don't. So my blocks I'm going to make kind of in a T position. This is going to go between my shoulder blades. This is going to go underneath my head. This is going to stay at this height. This can go this height, or not at all. I'm just telling you that right now so you don't have to look in a minute. Let's say I don't have blocks. I can do the same thing with a blanket. So again, our choice. And maybe the blocks are too hard. They don't feel great. Grab the blanket. Straps out of the way. We don't need you anymore. Okay. So again, this block is going between my shoulder blades. So I'm going to situate, maybe if I have a short torso, I put everything together. When I move my hair out of the way, you can see this is going to go under the base of my skull. Maybe just right above it. Palms are going to come out to the side. Now my knees can stay bent, my feet can come together, my knees can go wide, and my legs can go straight. Again, make sure that the block that is under our spine is between the shoulder blades. It's not lower down. Now let's say I'm feeling amazing and I don't need this much underneath my head. I can drop the height of the block underneath my head. I just want to make sure that my neck doesn't feel strained as I hang out here. Now let's send a big breath across the collarbones, the front of the chest. Maybe feel those muscles expand and release and stretch out. Don't say I don't have time for the whole video, which I hope you don't ever think that. But this is a stretch that maybe we have extra time and we want to stay here longer. Or maybe tonight, before I go to bed, I want to come back and revisit a pose. This is a great one to come back to. How about one more big breath? And then we're going to come up. I'm going to start out by bending my knee. I'm going to start to tuck my chin and roll to the one side. Coming up all the way. Again, I can sit on my block if I'd like to. think I'm going to. Yeah. There we go. And we're just going to sit up. How do we feel? We feel those shoulders. Did they work? Did they open? Awesome. Let's take those arms above our head. Inhale. Exhale. Draw our hands to our heart center. And thank you so very much for sharing your yoga practice with me today. The divine light in me honors and acknowledges the divine light in you. Namaste. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Let's get everybody standing up a little bit taller.